oops. So this, like, pretty much as quickly as you can get stuff off of the disk, it runs this animation. And this is just like a file on disk that has all the triangles and then a swap, right? Swap front and back. And more triangles for the next frame, swap, all the way to the end. And it just runs it while Linux is booting. So
Linux is booting, but in the meantime, FPGA is displaying.
Yeah, you get something while it's.
Nice. So this is called Buttonfly. This is a very famous thing. So it's like it's supposed to be a menu, and it does this sort of like fancy fancy animations. This is the logo you just saw, except that now it's interactive. So as you move around, you can see. So this is a gyro. This is what we were hoping to get from the gyro because you can't get the accelerometer to work that fast. Insect was my first love. Here you can tap on it and the thing just kind of follows you around. And then I think you can do this. Yeah.
Can you? Yeah. It'll like slowly slide off.
Sure. Exactly. So you can slow me down if you want to. This is a 2D. This is like a fighting program. It's a networked one, and for a while we wanted to actually set up Bluetooth networking so we could fight. And you can go here into this maze and go around. And you can shoot stuff, and you're this big robot. And this is a crazy thing. Like if you look at some of these fonts right here, like this is like every single thing over here is every pixel in the font is two triangles probably. Yeah.
We're smart enough if you have like a series of pixels part of the font that it draws one long. Rectangle,
but these lines, like these black lines, like Brad said, these are long rectangles. And if you remember the bounding box problem, it's like you have to test every single pixel in this bounding box. If you have a long diagonal line, you're checking every pixel. Like all these lines here, we're checking every pixel on the whole screen just to see if it lies along that line. And we're doing that for every single line that's here. Because I mean, clearly, like this is not the right way to do it. We should use Bresenham's, right? Clearly, something that just draws a line. But it was fast enough that we just did it.
What percentage of the actual FPGAs in use?
That's a good question. I think it ended up being maybe 60 or 70%. Space-wise. Yeah. And this is sort of a Jello thing that uses. So the originals, of course, didn't use an accelerometer. It was all mouse-based, and I think you could do this and you could rotate them. But since we have the tools here, we just decided to do that. Bounce has a bunch of different objects, and then so this was one of the kind of early lighting things. This is one of those things that if you ever saw in the late 80s, your brain exploded.
Right, it only costs like $1 million to get a machine that would do that.
That's right. But then again, like you have some parallax there going, and different kind of models and stuff like that.
We didn't apply a ton of rigor, so it's possible that some of the lighting stuff is not quite right. But
how much effort do you think it would take to actually get it to like a basic GL implementation?
3 or 4 times what we put into it so far. To do all of the different possible configurations of vertex data. We've talked with somebody who's trying to write an IRIX
like proper lines
emulator. Proper lines, proper fonts, proper behavior for all of the data types. And so we've had someone ask, well, could we run from inside the an IRIS-GL, an SGI emulator into your implementation? I thought that's not going to go that well. But maybe some of it would work. These had enough for these demos.
Here's a fancy demo. This is the thing that they were trying to run at on the personal iris, and that did not go well. like it was maybe 1 frame per second or something.
And the shadow here is all of the geometry squished onto the plane, and then with a screen door stipple pattern.
So pretty cool.
Was the screen door stipple pattern also per pixel, 2 triangles per pixel?
No.
Okay.
No. That's Lawrence fetching the stipple pattern.
Okay. You want to open mine up and people can play with this one maybe?